Originally published on December 18, 2014. For all those curious and seeking divine validation, regardless of faith. Science has become so prominent that any aspect of life cannot be deliberated without reference to it. Its huge influence can be understood by the diametric shift in the core belief of a prominent segment of our society. If we look some decades back, majority of scientists were either agnostics or atheists. That trend, by far, has been reversed, especially after the extensive experimentations done under the regime of quantum physics. The processes of quantum mechanics follow a regime that negates the conventional rules of physics, and that nonconformity has pushed the human psyche towards a logical and reasoned acceptance of the Creator. Just to corroborate the shift pointed out, here is what John Glenn, an American astronaut, has said. He admitted not only the existence of God but also His omnipotence, which controls the entire universe. He also said that there are many religious realities that are beyond the access of our senses, but we certainly know, through their visible effects, that they exist, and this leads us to believe that the universe is controlled by an omnipotent power. This diametric shift in the thinking of the brilliant and knowledgeable class of society raises an obvious question as to what really the sacred scriptures do offer and how is it synchronized with the latest scientific discoveries, whereby we can convince ourselves that these are the words of the Creator. Here caution needs to be exercised, and we ought to be mindful that science operates in an evolutionary realm and would, given the conditions, result in either a right or wrong conclusion, whereas scripture such as Qur'an is the final word of the Creator. Therefore science has to seek validation of its conclusions in the scriptures and not the other way around. Case in point, from the pages of history, is that the theory of Ptolemy was repudiated whereas that of Pythagoras was affirmed. Post embryonic development of human beings. Qur'an is one of the most sacred scriptures, and presents an astonishingly precise account of some scientific processes, though it was revealed 16 centuries ago. At that time Arabian Peninsula was steeped in the abyss of ignorance, Jahiliyyah, let alone scientific knowledge. Scientific discoveries in the purview of this expose are the latest, which have been accentuated by brilliant scientists. The process, which stands out with acute details, is that of human conception. It left scientists aghast as to the miraculous conformity of the stages of pre- and post-embryonic developments discovered by science. Surah Al-Mu'minun v. 12:15. Water cycle. The second one is that of the water cycle, the main catalyst and precursor of life. The cycle starts with water evaporation from the oceans, lakes, and other reservoirs to the atmosphere. Then some of it is stored on the mountain tops and the isolated recesses such as Antarctica, away from the pollutants, for a year-round supply of fresh water. Part thereof is distributed throughout the earth by the process of rain, for germination and sustenance of life. Excess is added back to the aquifers of the earth, rivers, lakes, and oceans. Surah Al-Furqan v. 47-50, and Surah Ibrahim v. 32. Omnipotence and its application in Qur'an. There are repeated references to the sentient beings in the heavens, in the earth, and in between. Qur'an maintains a distinction between animated and inanimated beings by describing them with the word moon and ma respectively. The word used in the above reference is moon. Therefore, we can safely assume that the universe is life abound. Qur'an also declares the absolute authority of the sovereign over everything in unequivocal terms so that its omnipotence could be understood with clarity. It is declared in Qur'an, our word for a thing we intend is to be, and it is. Surah Al-Nahl v. 40. Water-based origin of living beings. The scientific postulation that life started from water is confirmed in Qur'an by declaring we made every living thing out of water, Surah Al-Anbiya v. 30. It also asserts that all animals, creeping on their bellies, walking on 2 legs and on 4, have their origin in water, and that they understand their prayers unto the Creator, Al-Nur v. 41-45. Honeybee. The honeybee was directly instructed by the Creator to establish her hive on the higher planes, to preserve honey from contamination. It manifests the logistical prowess of the Creator in managing the minutest details of the universe. It is well known that if a honeybee sits on a pile of filth, other bees would prevent her from entering the hive and endangering the colony by killing her. A little pondering here would reveal His procreational balancing at every levels of the universe. Miraculously, honey never goes bad and is well known for its nutritional and healing properties. Surah Al-Nahl v. 68 and 69. Relocations of the planet Earth and Sun. Recently I came across a verse in Qur'an which overwhelmed me, since it displayed the Creator's incessant facilitation of our existence on this planet. despite the fact that we humans out of sheer ignorance and boastfulness often turn ingrate. It is very humbling to realize that he knows it too well and is still kind to us. He says in Surah Bani Israel v11, He created man from a drop and soon he turned into quarrelsome one, and also that man is more than anything contentious, Surah Kahf v54. In the above-mentioned verse, Surah Ar-Ra'd v2, which inspired this piece, it is said, We compelled the sun and the moon to be of service. Each runs unto an appointed term. The allusion here is to their strategic positioning for life sustainment, and their orbital circulation in an appointed time for the creation of circadian circle for the facilitation of all sentient being. It is further elaborated in Surah Al-An'am b96, 97, where it is declared that he is the cleaver of the daybreak and he has appointed the night for stillness, rest, and created the sun and the moon for reckoning of the time, day and night, etc. It goes on explaining further that he has set for you the stars that ye may guide your course by them amid the darkness of the land and the sea. Ancient people made good use of this knowledge and embarked on epochal journeys, resulting in discoveries of new lands and development of trade routes. Compliance by the inanimated entities. Here is how the process of creation of and ordination to inanimated bodies takes place. It is declared our Lord is He who gave shape to everything, then guidance, Surah Taha v50. Now here is how these bodies submit to His will. Almighty asked, the gaseous cloud and the earth, Come to my obedience, both of you, willingly or unwillingly. Both said, We come willingly, Surah As-Sajdah to v11. Earth. Earth was made from the Sun's orbital debris closer to Sun. Later on, it migrated to the existing position. Sun's orbits are of two kinds. The inner orbit consists of rocks and the outer orbit consists of ice. It is well known that the creation of our solar system took place about 4.5 billion years ago, whereas that of Big Bang, which is presumed to be the point of the creation of the universe, about 13.5 billion years. Sun. It is astonishing, however, that despite a quantum leap in scientific knowledge, science so far has no knowledge of the time, process, and place of the Sun's formation. The only thing discerned about the Sun is that its material came from other planets. Historically, Sun was called Sol by the Greeks and Elio by the Romans. Qura'an, however, has asserted it being migrated to its existing orbit. The culmination of the episode. This episode has been summed up beautifully in Surah Furqan v61, 62, in these words: Glorious is the one who made stellar formations in the sky and placed therein a lamp, sun, and a bright moon, 61, and he is the one who made the day and the night following each other, for the one who wishes to show gratitude, 62. Scientists who are observing the moon are baffled by the mysterious glow/light on the surface of the moon. It was first noticed at the time of landing on the moon. A mysterious glow was stemming from a crater named Aristarchus, hence called Aristarchus Enigma. This phenomenon has been alluded to, above, by describing the moon as a bright moon. Moon plays an important role in periodical determinations of Islamic rituals and traditions and is the only planet which necessitates a prayer to be uttered at its sighting. Crater Aristarchus is named after a Muslim scholar al-Zarqali al-Naqqash. His Latinized name, Arzakal, is formed from the Arabic al-Zarqali al-Naqqash, meaning the engraver. The crater Arzakal on the moon is named after him. He was particularly talented in geometry and astronomy. German scholar Jacob Ziegler wrote a commentary on one of al-Zarqali's works. In his De Revolutionibus Orbium Coelestium, al-Zarqali corrected geographical data from Ptolemy and al-Khwarizmi. Specifically, he corrected Ptolemy's estimate of the length of the Mediterranean Sea from 62 degrees to the correct value of 42 degrees 3. Planetary migration. The scientific community, for quite some time, has been trying to solve the mystery as to how come various planets of our solar system happen to be in their present domicile, defying their makeup, which indicates that they were formed elsewhere. Recent research, however, reveals that Jupiter's inward journey towards the Sun was impeded by the creation of Saturn. Their gravitational tacking set both of these bodies on the outward journey instead. That is how they happen to be where they are now. Other planets of the system, including Earth and Moon, were also pulled out of their original orbits by Jupiter. The point here is that these researches are in line with the Quranic revelation that the Sun and the Moon were compelled to their existing positions from elsewhere. It is now well-established fact that planetary migration is a rule, not an exception. Orbital rotations. It is important to know that the planets of our solar system complete their orbital rotations not only in different durations but also in fashion. These bodies, with the exception of the Earth and Moon, do not move in a circular fashion but in an elliptical. Uranus completes its orbital rotation in 84.3 years. Neptune in 164.79 years, and Jupiter complete its rotation on its own axis in 85 hours. It is an acknowledgement of the Quranic truth that our solar system, in addition to the Sun and Moon, was specifically put to human service. Miscellaneous allusions/affirmations. There are many more affirmations as to the spread of Earth and it being stabilized by mountains as firmaments. The purity of the water rained down. Confluence of waters, sweat and salty. Mountains and the birds were ordered to him along with David. The wind was put under the control of Solomon. Surah Al-Anbiya v 79, 81. Prophet Solomon's fast-paced journeys, traversing long distances, may be an allusion towards the use of wormhole. Gene subservience to humans may also help those who are hopping in the abyss of darkness in search of ancient alien astronauts and so-called gods who disseminated knowledge of mechanical and technical advances to the people of old. It would be propitious for scientist community to make use of this valuable source of first-hand information and allusions. Needless to say that Isaac Newton's gravity theory was supplemented by the work of al-Biruni, a Muslim scientist, which ultimately made space travel possible. Contemplations exhorted. These revelations present several things for human contemplation. First, what we are discovering now is already revealed or alluded to in sacred scripture. Second, is his complete command and authority over macro and micro affairs of the universe, repudiating the postulation of the deism, that God made the world and then became disinterested or left it to be run by the rules and principles devised. It is asserted in Qur'an that we are not unmindful of the creation, Surah Mu'minun v 17. Third, that the universe is full of life, though may or may not be cognizable by us. Fourth, everything whether animated or inanimated is not only receptive but bound to be obedient to his commands. Fifth, intelligence, consciousness, resoluteness, and servitude are the hallmark of the entire creation. Sixth, he declared all these as his signs to be pondered upon. Just pondering on these points may lead one to the light we all are in search of in our own ways. Comment/like/share/follow and subscribe. Shakir Mumtaz. Author, thinker, analyst.